What happens when one of the world's biggest artists destroys a billion-dollar partnership with a single tweet? In October 2022, Kanye West, now known as Ye, didn't just damage his relationship with Adidas, he obliterated it. And in the process, he tanked the company's stock, cost them over $1 billion, and ended what was once considered one of the most lucrative celebrity partnerships in fashion history. But here's the question nobody's really asking. Why did he do it? Today, we're diving deep into the collapse of the Yeezy-Adidas empire. Let's rewind. The Yeezy brand wasn't just successful, it was a phenomenon. When Kanye partnered with Adidas in 2013 after leaving Nike, he wasn't just designing shoes. He was creating a cultural movement. The Yeezy Boost 350s became some of the most sought-after sneakers on the planet, with people camping out for days just to get a pair. By 2019, the partnership was generating over $2 billion in revenue annually. That's roughly 10% of Adidas's entire revenue stream. The numbers were staggering. Forbes valued the Yeezy brand at over $3 billion, and Kanye himself became a billionaire largely because of this deal. Adidas needed Ye. The Yeezy line wasn't just profitable, it was keeping the company relevant in a market dominated by Nike and newer brands. This wasn't a partnership Adidas could easily walk away from, and Kanye knew it. October 2022, it started at Paris Fashion Week when Kanye showed up wearing a shirt that said, "White Lives Matter." The fashion industry was shocked, but that was just the beginning. Days later, Kanye went on a rampage across social media. He posted on Twitter that he was going to go, quote, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Twitter and Instagram locked his accounts, but Kanye didn't stop. He went on podcasts, he gave interviews, he doubled down on his statements. Here's where it gets really dark. He appeared on a podcast and literally said, "I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?" He was taunting them, testing them, daring them to walk away from billions of dollars. And then, over a Los Angeles freeway, anti-Semitic demonstrators hung a banner reading, "Kanye is right about the Jews," while making Nazi salutes. The situation had spiraled completely out of control. The pressure on Adidas became unbearable. The Anti-Defamation League launched a massive campaign called Run Away from Hate, urging Adidas to cut ties. Celebrities from Josh Gad to David Schwimmer publicly called out the company. Over 90,000 people signed a petition demanding action. And here's the twist that made it even more uncomfortable. Adidas was founded in Germany by members of the Nazi Party, and their factories produced weapons for the Nazis during World War II. For 3 weeks, Adidas said nothing. They were paralyzed. Finally, on October 25th, they issued a statement. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous. The partnership was over. The financial devastation was immediate. Adidas stock plummeted 11% in a single day. It had already fallen 45% over the previous year. The company warned investors they'd lose $1.3 billion in revenue because they couldn't sell their Yeezy inventory. For the fourth quarter alone, they estimated a loss of $250 million. By the end of 2022, Adidas reported a net loss of $540 million. But it wasn't just Adidas. Gap terminated their Yeezy Gap line. Balenciaga cut ties. His talent agency, CAA, dropped him. Even the Hollywood studio MRC shelved a completed documentary about him. Kanye West went from billionaire to pariah in a matter of weeks. His net worth plummeted. The empire he'd spent a decade building was gone. But here's what's wild. Eventually, the demand for remaining Yeezy products actually helped Adidas recover. They decided to liquidate the inventory rather than destroy it, and by early 2025, they'd sold everything, donating portions of the proceeds to organizations fighting anti-Semitism. The company survived. But the partnership? Dead forever. So why did he do it? This is where it gets complicated. In 2016, Kanye was hospitalized and diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He's been open about his struggles with mental health, describing it as having a sprained brain. During manic episodes, his ex-wife Kim Kardashian revealed he'd make impulsive decisions, like giving away multiple luxury cars to friends, only to replace them and repeat the behavior later. Bipolar disorder involves extreme mood swings between intense mania and severe depression. During manic periods, people can experience grandiose thinking, increased energy, reduced need for sleep, and impulsive behavior. They can also become paranoid and make decisions they might not make otherwise. But here's the thing. Mental illness doesn't excuse anti-Semitism. It doesn't excuse hate speech. Many people live with bipolar disorder and don't spew hateful rhetoric. The question is whether Kanye's mental health crisis contributed to his behavior, or whether these were views he held all along that he simply felt emboldened to express. Interestingly, in early 2025, Kanye claimed he'd been misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder and that he actually has autism. He said he'd stopped taking his medication after the new diagnosis. Whether this is accurate or not, it highlights the complexity of understanding someone's mental state and behavior. The Fall of Yeezy is a cautionary tale about power, mental health, accountability, and the limits of influence. Kanye West proved that even a billion-dollar partnership has boundaries. Even when you're that big, that successful, that influential, there are still lines you cannot cross. Auditus called his bluff. And in doing so, they lost hundreds of millions of dollars but potentially saved their reputation. As for Kanye, his empire lies in ruins, destroyed not by his competitors, but by his own words. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Adidas waited too long to drop Kanye? Hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the intersection of fame, business, and controversy.